best music.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask. I just really hit the field. 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 Boy, I'm about to hit the field.
Welcome to another episode of Hitting the Field. I'm your host, Jarrett Kappelman, back after our break from last week. I am joined by Chris Wolf, John Whitley, Armand Sardoui, and Jeremy Brenner for a very special hour-long episode of Hitting the Field. We'll get to our Super Bowl coverage later in the show, but yesterday, the sports world lost one of its most iconic members as Kobe Bryant was killed in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California. HTF is incredibly stunned by the news and would like to extend our condolences to Kobe's wife, Vanessa, the Bryant family, and all the families of those involved in the crash. And to all who considered Kobe an inspiration, teammate, brother, and a friend, we're going to go down the line and just talk about what this means for the basketball world and what this means individually to us. All started off, Kobe Bryant, not that I follow basketball so much, but the fact that he's a household name because what he did for outside of the game. Kobe was an icon for everyone. His work mentality, his work ethic was the number one thing that as an athlete I took away from him. Mamba mentality, we say it all the time. No matter what, there was no excuse. Kobe went 120%, and you know, this is devastating. This is devastating for everything in the world. Chris, I'm gonna throw it off to you.
I mean, first thing, I'm gonna send my prayers to everyone involved in this, all the families that were involved in the crash, and the family members that had to live knowing that. But Kobe was a childhood hero. I grew up watching him a lot, and he was just real. He was 100% real. He was he did everything the opposite way. People would be doing. They go on vacation during breaks. He would be in the film room studying. He would be doing all his stuff, and it's just shocking to see that he was gone. I mean, and especially his daughter, because she was gonna grow up to be a WNBA player, I believe, because she was just out of this world. She was great, and it's just really heartbroken to think about all this stuff, and it's just. Lost for words.
Well, John, what does this mean to you?
Yeah, I think it's devastating. I think we're all having a hard time processing this. But I think it's also important to celebrate the life of Kobe Bryant. He was such a dominant sports figure. One of the few people in that top tier sports figures where when he speaks, you drop everything and listen. Mm-hmm. And I think just when I think of athletes, he's probably the strongest individual and just most alpha athlete I could think of. So to see this happen is just absolutely devastating.
Well, Armand, we'll throw it over to you.
Yeah, it's just unreal. It's just when you think of Kobe, think of Whitney Houston or Michael Jackson or Tupac, somebody of that type of the caliber who yesterday when he passed, the world stood still. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, social media, you couldn't even access Twitter because it froze over. The thing is that what he did for the game of basketball, he impacted every single one of us, fans and players alike. It's crazy that we're here today. Said Kobe's really gone, mm-hmm. And yep. It sucks because it sucks for his family, it sucks for other families that were affected, and it sucks because he didn't have a chance to live out his legacy. A couple of months from now, he could have gave his Hall of Fame speech, but he can't even do that anymore because he's not here. So,
Jeremy,
it's still it's been almost 24 hours since it happened, and you really still can't feel like that. I think one of the memories I have of Kobe, I was maybe 7 years old. He dropped 81 in a game, and I was trying to figure out. I was just about to understand basketball. I was trying to figure out This is what a screen is. This is I was learning basketball and I was beginning to understand it. What I couldn't understand was how did someone drop 81 in a game? It's the greatest scoring accomplishment that
we've ever seen in our lifetime, because none of us were around for Wilt's 100. But, you know, you mentioned, I say Kobe, I don't have to say Kobe Bryant, because you know who I'm talking about. Those kind of people, those one-name people, Kobe, Beyonce, LeBron, Michael, those people that if you only need one name for people to know who you are, that's special. And I know Kobe's got a pretty unique name. Not a lot of people are named Kobe, but that's still very special. And the way I see it is, like, yes, he passed away, but Kobe's a legend.
Yep.
Legends never die. And Kobe's a legend. Kobe might have passed away, but he didn't die.
Those are strong words. The one thing that I think we should all take from this is it shouldn't have to take a tragedy to realize someone's legacy. I think that's the biggest thing. You need more appreciation, you know? I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that people didn't appreciate him, but it seems like a little more. There's a lot more appreciation towards him now. I mean, if you look at what he did off the court, I mean, he's a motivational speaker. He's constantly coaching kids, you know, holding camps. I mean, the interview where he said, you know, life's too short, live in the moment and enjoy it. That's what it's all about. For Kobe, the most, you know, when you're on the court, you're thinking, don't talk to this guy, he's about to take over. I mean, for someone like Kobe to say that, you know it's real. And, I mean, we're all at a loss for words. It's like, where do you go from here? I mean, do you think the NBA is taking a step in the right direction? You know, they all took 24-second violations, 8-second violations.
You know, it's people have to grieve in their own way. And, like, to me, like, I'm not a big Kobe guy, but you see, like, people in the studio here today, they got Kobe jerseys on. You see people around campus, they got Kobe tributes up. And I'm not the biggest Kobe fan by any stretch. I think if you called me a Kobe fan, it would be disrespectful to those who are actually Kobe fans. But not that I was a fan, but I was an admirer of someone who was a master of basketball. And I think that means something. And anyone can relate to that. And Kobe is more than just basketball. He's just a human. He's a pop culture icon. And I think a lot of that obviously had to do with the fact that he was in Los Angeles, but the Los Angeles community, that's a lot of people that he had an outreach to. Yep. And he used his platform, and he's someone, you know, Kobe's not a perfect person by any means. But what I think is important to take away from Kobe is that he was someone who made mistakes early on, but showed that he was willing to learn from his mistakes, that he was willing to admit his imperfections, but was not just saying that, he was doing things about it, action.
Yep.
And you got to admire people like that. And I think that I would love to see people have that kind of compassion for each other around the world.
Yep.
Not just
on an
now.
everyday basis.
It's a good way to. It's a terrible way, but it's a terrible way given
the circumstance.
The circumstance, but a good way to teach the lesson, because sometimes the best lessons have to be taught the hard way.
Put pretty
Absolutely.
great. Does anyone else want to touch on, like, you know, the NBA players, the way they paid tribute yesterday? Anyone want to talk about that?
I think it is good that we're so close to the All-Star breaks. I think that way the whole NBA community comes together. They can all grieve together, and you know, it's just like I said, it's just absolutely devastating.
I mean, we saw off the court at the Pro Bowl yesterday. We had players, you know, scoring touchdowns, throwing up the 2-4. The NFC gets a sack.
They were doing the jab step. The players doing jab step and just.
Please, you throw a piece of trash when you yell Kobe. Like, it's everything.
That's how I want to go out, man. I want people to like that.
I mean,
honestly, if that was my legacy, I'd be happy.
Armand, anything you want to add on off the court?
Yeah, it's just the person I think who's taking it like the hardest, obviously, is Vanessa too. But I had to say LeBron. I mean,
oh, he looked.
Has LeBron said anything?
Nothing.
On
Like
social?
this is like, I think this is like the longest LeBron hasn't said anything on social media. I mean, you just passed, you know, the man a top
18 hours prior.
And like he just tweeted you out saying, "Hey, congrats, my brother. You know, more to come, whatever." And then now after that, he's not there. It's just crazy. And then the thing is that when LeBron came to LA, Kobe was the first to embrace him and said, "Hey, if you need some help or you know if you need some advice, I got you. I am the Lakers organization."
Yep.
So it's just crazy that you never think somebody like Kobe just
No, I mean,
come up and gone, you know.
I don't know about you guys, but when my brother called me and told me, I didn't believe him. I'd ask him who. I just, you don't expect to hear that. So it still doesn't feel real. That's like, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I don't know when the reality's going to set in, but.
The thing is, I don't think it ever will. Because look at this. Michael Jackson died over 10 years ago. Does it really feel like Michael Jackson died, though? In a way, I mean, he's not making new music anymore.
No, but his music
But
is
his
still-
legacy is timeless. Kobe is one of those people too. I don't think it will ever feel like he's gone, because he had that big of an impact on so many people. He might not be here physically, but the legacy that he left, like I said, legends may pass away, but they never truly die. And that's Kobe.
I mean, to know that he has an impact, every single organization in the sporting world and the Grammys, everything mentioned Kobe's passing yesterday. That's just his legacy. John, you want to add something?
Yeah, as I say, because, I mean, off the court as well, who else can say they won an NBA championship and an Oscar?
Yeah.
You know, just Kobe. So it's so cool that he could dominate in the NBA World League and then dominate in a totally different field. That just speaks even more volumes to his work ethic and his character.
Chris?
I think he dominated. He was the best attribute he ever had was being a father for all his kids too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think what's something else to point out is that, you know, Kobe won 3 chips, 2000, 2001, 2002, and then 2 more, 09, 10. That's basically anyone in their 20s right now or around that age range got to see Kobe at the height, at the top of the game. And that was kind of like how Michael Jordan was in the 90s. At the beginning of the 90s, people were idolizing MJ. At the end of the 90s, same way. And that's what Kobe was for our generation. Growing up, the kids that grew up in the 2000s, you had Kobe at some point at the top of the game in the NBA. Whether you knew more about the three-peat with Shaq, the Shaq days, or whether you knew more about the 2009-2010 championship with Pau Gasol. So that's why I think he has such an impact, because he was able to have such a successful career in so many different in 2 different eras almost. Because, I mean, 2010, that's 11 years between your championships. That's pretty impressive.
Yep.
The fact that he did it, you know, the fact that he was able to lead teams in 2 different, like, eras. That's incredible. And you're not going to see, I mean, the only people I can think of are LeBron and Michael Jordan. And Kobe's there. And when Michael Jordan passes away and when LeBron passes away, I think you're going to see a very similar effect.
It's just the reality of it, him being 41 and stuff. It just, you know, it's hard to put into words. But again, we express our condolences to the Bryant family and everyone else affected. And Kobe will be dearly missed by everyone. Thank you guys for sharing your thoughts on Kobe today. And on the other side of the break, you guys are going to see a special little tribute video from those behind the camera today of what Kobe meant to them.
You know, Kobe Bryant means everything to me. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be majoring in sports broadcast journalism. You know, he's the reason when I was a kid I watched basketball every day. He's my Michael Jordan. One of the many things that I look up to in Kobe is just his dedication to improve every single day. I just find that so inspiring. Just working, striving to be the best, not settling for mediocrity. It's something that I implement myself every single day.
He's my inspiration to why I even picked up a basketball, and my love for the game grew, and how he impacted me as far as, you know, my love for sports.
I think when I look back at his playing career, it goes beyond more than just the accomplishments, the 5 rings, the All-Stars, the MVP. I think it's just the Mamba mentality.
Rest in peace to the Mamba, Kobe Bean Bryant, my favorite player. The reason I started to play basketball when I was in elementary school through middle school, the reason why I played sports with such a mentality was because of you. You inspired millions, and you're my generation's favorite player.
Growing up, Kobe was always my favorite basketball player. I played basketball my whole life. Kobe was everything I wanted to be. We were the same height, the same position. I tried to emulate him on every level, both ends of the floor, all levels of offense, all levels of defense. But with Kobe and what he meant to me, it was always so much more than basketball.
Welcome back to a special hour-long edition of Hitting the Field. I'm still with Chris, John, Armand, and Jeremy to talk Super Bowl 54. It's just 6 days away, gentlemen. Let's start with the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs. We'll begin our Chiefs analysis with last year's MVP, Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't been as electric as his 2018 version, but he has been dominant in the Chiefs' 2 playoff wins. Mahomes has found the end zone 9 times this postseason and is riding the hot hand all the way to South Beach. John, what does Mahomes have to do to pull out the win?
Listen, Mahomes is probably the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. I think all he needs to do is beat Patrick Mahomes. Don't try to do too much. Take what the defense gives you. And when they need him to be special, he will be special, and he'll make that play.
Chris?
I mean, you can't beat the Chiefs without containing Patrick Mahomes. Because if Patrick Mahomes goes off, I don't think the Niners have enough thing to keep up with him. I mean, I just don't.
Yeah, this gets into a shootout. I think it would probably favor the Chiefs. Jeremy, I'll start with you.
Look, I think Mahomes puts the Chiefs. When you have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, you always got a chance to win, and I think that is why Mahomes is top 2, top 3 quarterback in the game right now.
Top 1, maybe?
Top 1,
Top
no
1?
question.
Yeah.
Who's 1? Is it Lamar?
I would think, yeah.
No.
Look,
I would take Patrick Mahomes.
Not
Patrick
clutch.
Mahomes, if I'm
look,
saying.
but also,
Keep going.
Lamar and Mahomes are apples and oranges, I think. I think that they provide 2 different things. What Mahomes does is he has a cannon of an arm, and he has the thing is also, and we'll get to the skill players, I guess, a little later on, but I think the skill players really help Mahomes. And he has a lot of talent surrounding him. But also, Mahomes makes his skill players better. And I think that's why Mahomes was the MVP last year and is really close to being the MVP this year, I think. And I think if he didn't get hurt, maybe he is the MVP this year. But look,
All right.
if the Chiefs want to win this game, Mahomes has to be the MVP.
You're right. And it's got to be through Mahomes. Well, let's move on from Mahomes to, as you were saying, the skill players, who are arguably the best skill player group in the league. The Chiefs are very much about picking your position. Choose to focus on blanketing Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill as they zoom into the end zone, or they can put their efforts towards guarding Hill and Kelce. I mean, someone's always going to be wide open in the middle of the field if you do that. And you can't forget about Sammy Watkins on the outside or Damian Williams coming out of the backfield, who has 7 touchdowns in his last 5 games. Armand, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
What is it going to take for the Niners to limit this skill position group?
I mean, honestly, it's just to think about the matchups. You have Richard Sherman and Party against maybe Sammy Watkins or maybe Tyreek Hill, or Mosley against Tyreek Hill. We'll see. The thing is that I think when you come into the game, the Niners already had the #1 pass defense in the league, and also they're like top 10 in run defense as well. So it pretty much the Chiefs have something to. They had to think of a game plan to try to find holes in that defense. Also too, I want to see how the Chiefs' offensive line is going to hold up as well. I mean, when you're rushing for like D Ford, Bosa, Armstead, Buckner, it's really good. It's really a challenge against that front four. But the things that, for me personally, I think that against the Chiefs, I'm a little bit worried because they're so dynamic, and you saw that against the Texans and the Tennessee Titans. But honestly, so it's gonna be an exciting game. I can't wait to watch.
Well, let's move from the offensive side over to the defensive side of the ball. The Chiefs' defense has been viewed as the team's biggest weakness. However, the second half of the season has shown massive improvement, and that the unit is no longer one that can be overlooked. Safety Tyrann Mathieu is planning very well ahead of this game, and he's been the team's best player, the ball hawk safety, and the defensive tackle, Chris Jones, has been stuffing the line, limiting the league's best running backs. John, with us, over to you. Who needs to step up for this defense?
Well, I think as you touched on, I think it's Tyrann Mathieu. I think, as Jeremy said, you always have a chance. You have Patrick Mahomes, but also on defense, you always have a chance when you have a guy like Tyrann Mathieu. You can always come up with that turnover, that big play, and he can do it so many different ways. Whether he's sacking the quarterback for a fumble, interception, touchdown. So I think he's really the X factor in this game, and I think also it's great because he's a guy who belongs in the Super Bowl. He's a capital F football player who belongs playing in the biggest games at the biggest stage.
Chris, who needs to step up for this defense?
To me, I feel like it needs to be Frank Clark. I mean,
Okay.
you traded for this guy, and you gave him a lot of money to be a premier pass rusher, and I think he needs to be able to get to Patrick Mahomes and put him on the ground, like not just get in the backfield, because Patrick Mahomes is going to make you miss, but they need to put him on the ground.
Yeah.
And I think also the whole front four, they need to put him on the ground. Like they did pretty well against Deshaun Watson. They pretty well
They
against
contained
him.
him. They contained Henry.
They contained Derrick Henry. That was the best running back this year, and it came under 80 yards, or that's really good for someone that was on record pace in the postseason.
Jeremy, who needs to step up?
Chris Jones, 100%. There's absolutely no player that means more to this Chiefs defense right now than Chris Jones, who's this is his last chance to, try to get more of a raise for the offseason because he's going to be a free agent in March. So what Chris Jones does is he stuffs that run. The fact that I think the Chiefs are favored in this game is because they were able to stop Derrick Henry. And if you have, and that's how the Niners win football games. They run the football. That's how they're going to win this game. The Super Bowl is not the time to start planning new stuff. It's not the time for that. So the Niners are going to do what they need to do in order to win the game, what they do best. They run the football.
Yep.
So if the Chiefs cannot run the football, or if the Chiefs cannot stop the run, they're not going to win this game, because that's the Niners' strategy. They're going to run the football, and with more running of the football by the Niners, it's less time for Mahomes.
It would be less time for
to
Mahomes.
have the football.
Well, after looking at
Love
the
you, man.
quarterback, offense, and defense, which Kansas City Chief is the X factor for Sunday's game, just give me a name. Who's the X factor?
I'm going to go with Demarcus Robinson,
And why?
because I think Tyreek Hill is going to get shadowed by Richard Sherman, and I think and Sammy Watkins as well, and I think Travis Kelce, because George Kittle, Niners have George Kittle, so they're used to in practice going up against a tight end like him.
Yep.
So I think they might be able to contain Travis Kelce, and I think he's the X factor because he'll have a one-on-one chances, and I think he's had a good season as well.
John?
Yeah, I think the X factor for the Chiefs' offense is Mikael Hartman, one of the fastest dudes in the league. And so it's hard to give that extra safety up to him and Tyreek. And plus he gets it done in special teams too. So, the Chiefs really stockpile those fast guys. And, I'm a big speed guy. At the end of the day, speed wins.
Armand, who has to be the player to step up for the Chiefs?
This is going to sound cliche, but Patrick Mahomes, I mean, if he does not throw, about 300 yards or 3 touchdowns, they're not going to win a football game. I mean, when he gets out of the pocket, it's just pure magic. And I think that's the X factor for the Chiefs.
I'm going to give you an unconventional answer, as you would expect from me.
Well,
right?
I have an unconventional one, too.
All right, I'm going to go with Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spag. Did I steal your answer?
No, I was going to go Andy
Steve
Reid.
Spagnuolo. And look, I think Andy Reid might be second or third on that list because, look, you're game planning against Kyle Shanahan, someone who coached in the Super Bowl, the famous 28-3 Super Bowl. So he knows how to plan for a Super Bowl, and he wants revenge.
He also knows how to blow a Super Bowl.
Exactly. So Spagnuolo is going to need to counter Shanahan's plan with one of his own that can hopefully lead the Chiefs to a win. I think the Chiefs have the matchups are there for the Chiefs to win the game. I think that matchup-wise, they are better than the Niners in most of their matchups. Not necessarily that they're a more talented team, but in the end of the day, the Super Bowl coaching is much more of an impact than people would want it to be.
The defensive side of the ball is not going to matter, right? You have a team that's just scoring. I mean, can we say defense is not going to matter for the Chiefs?
Yes, it will. Because look,
I think it has to.
No, of course it does. Are you kidding me, Jerry?
If they score 50
Offense wins
points,
games,
the
defense
49ers
wins
will not match
championships,
50
bro.
points.
The thing is that, all right.
Jesus.
The thing is that the Niners are capable of going back and forth in the shootout. We've seen that with the Saints game.
Yes.
Absolutely. The thing is that Kyle Shanahan I think he's the offensive mastermind. I mean, your dad is Mike Shanahan, who coached 2 Super Bowls for the Broncos, right? And was offensive coordinator in 1994
With the Niners.
when the Niners won a Super Bowl. So you pretty much have an advantage right there. And the way Kyle Shanahan calls the offense, he disguises what he's going to do. I remember, I think it was the NFC Championship game when Mostert's first touchdown, the Packers blitzed because they expected a pass from Jimmy G, Nope. Gave right to Mostert, touchdown right there. So the thing is that this Niners offense is going to be challenging for the Chiefs defense.
This is why defense matters, though.
Chris, I want Chris. What? Because I know you're itching to get into this.
I think the defense does matter because they need to be able to get to Jimmy Garoppolo or make him have to make reads because you cannot let him have deep slant routes and let these receivers make plays. When you make Jimmy G have to go through his progressions, that's when a lot of his interceptions have happened, when he's holding on the ball longer. And I think that's what the Chiefs defense needs to do.
On talent-wise of the 49ers, where does Jimmy G rank? He's got to be the lower half.
Exactly. If the Chiefs can stop the run and force Jimmy G to play quarterback, that's how the Chiefs win this game.
But that's how they can win this game. It's no guarantee.
Okay, yeah.
But Jimmy G, let's make no mistake. He's as talented as any quarterback in this league. He can beat you with his arm.
Jimmy G has not proven that yet. So
I mean,
the last time the Chiefs lost a playoff game was the AFC Championship. It was a shootout.
They were offsides. They win the Super Bowl last year.
But still.
But here's the thing, though, Jeremy. Like this man just came back from a torn ACL. Right.
Exactly.
He threw
Jimmy G's perfectly capable.
He's thrown over 4,000 yards.
That man's going for 3 rings.
He's thrown over almost 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. Right. The past 2 playoff games, they haven't had to throw the football because he's been running people down the ball.
Exactly. He ain't no Mahomes.
Wait, hold on. What was that one more time?
Only 27 passes in the entire postseason.
He didn't throw the football.
He hasn't had to prove it yet, but he's very capable.
But he can 50 times in the Super Bowl.
But the thing is this: the Chiefs can win this game with a shootout, and Mahomes can go win them a football game. But you don't want to put all the pressure on one person for the most important game in his life.
Yes, you do.
But if you do, that's the guy you want to take.
Of course, yes. But you don't want to. A team wins the Super Bowl, not one player.
This is what I say. When it comes to 49ers, it's a totem pole. You got the defense, the run game, and Jimmy G. With Patrick Mahomes, with the Chiefs just had Patrick Mahomes. That's it.
Jared, I heard a fast guy.
Jared, did the Eagles win the Super Bowl by Nick Foles or by that defense?
Both.
Or both.
They won by both. So you know what? You know what?
It's layers, man.
That's all the time we have for the Chiefs insight. But when we come back from the break, we got the 49ers. Stay with us.
See, I got something for y'all, man.
That got good in the end.
Bro, I just hear partake. Order.
I'm just listening.
He's like, get order. I'm like, dude, what? We're all arguing. There's nothing.
I'm just tired of disrespect.
It is hard to have order, though.
Yeah, they lost the last 2, but third time's a charm, right? That's what I tell myself every night before I cry myself to sleep, right?
Definitely. In my eyes, I know he's pitching game 2, and his postseason ERA is about over 4, and I'm scared.
Because I like losing, apparently. It seems to be the trend. It's Jeter, too. He's just mad because the Yankees lost in the 2003 World Series.
03 World Series?
I think I have a better chance of winning the lottery, actually. Like, I'm probably going to throw it all on red this summer and hope for the best.
100%. And they're better than the Houston Astros. The Trastros?
Honestly, Justin Verlander is the second coming of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He is a god. I would go straight for Kate Upton.
I don't know.
We didn't give him enough. Should have given him $500 million.
Let's go, Yankees. The Yankees will not lose. Let's be clear. Best team in baseball ever.
Welcome back to HTF Super Bowl preview. Before the break, we talked all things Chiefs, and it got a little heated. But now it's time to shift over to the NFC champion San Francisco 49ers. The Niners last season ended with a top 2 pick, and now they find themselves as one of the top 2 teams in the league. Niners QB Jimmy Garoppolo can earn his 3rd Super Bowl ring,
with a win in Miami Sunday night. But this time, Jimmy G faces a very different agenda for the Super Bowl as the starting quarterback. Garoppolo has been tabbed as mostly a game manager, not having to take too many risks and relying on the San Francisco running game to get the job done. But with the Super Bowl on the line, what does Jimmy G need to do in order to get his team over the top? And we'll start with the 49ers fan we found outside the studio this morning, Armand Sarduli.
Yep, just be yourself. I mean, the thing is that you've been doubted all year, hearing the noise, but you know what you're capable of. I mean, when you were with New England, you were back at the Tom Brady, probably the greatest quarterback of all time. So you know what it takes to win. And I think for Jimmy G, I think he needs to play his game. He already trusts his guys out there. Trusts Kyle Shanahan and the offense, and I think he'll be all right.
Jeremy?
What he doesn't do is make mistakes. He's very good at not turning the ball over, and that's huge in the Super Bowl. If you don't turn over the ball, that increases your chance of winning, and that's what Jimmy G does a very good job of. I don't know the exact numbers of interceptions and all, but I assume that he has probably one of the fewest amount of interceptions in the league.
Well,
I would assume
it's hard to throw a pick.
It's hard to throw picks when you don't throw the ball, right?
He throws a lot of interceptions.
Chris, what was that stat again from earlier?
27 pass attempts.
So what does he need to
and
do?
0
in this
picks.
game?
He's 1 pick.
Oh, 1 pick.
He threw a pick against Vikings. But
Chris, what does he need to do in this game, though?
He just needs to manage the game right now.
Manage the game.
He needs to manage the game.
Checklist, game manager.
You know who else wasn't a game manager though? Nick Foles.
Nick Foles.
Also, if Jimmy G is a game manager, that's a dang good game manager.
He needs to manage the game, but he needs to also take. I think he's good. He needs to take shots down the field because he's not going to win dink dunk passes because this Chiefs defense may not be the best statistically, but they're very athletic on the D line, just like their D line, and I think he is going to have to make progressions, and that was something I saw a little bit of a struggle this season when he's had to make reads.
Well, yeah, in the second half of that Packers game, John, what did you want to add from Jimmy G?
Yeah, listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. A quarterback's best friend is a great tight end, and Jimmy G has the best tight end in the NFL, maybe the best tight end I've ever seen as far as just talent. So I think it's pretty simple. He just needs to feed George Kittle and let George Kittle do the rest.
All right. Well, you mentioned George Kittle. Let's jump to Garoppolo's supporting cast, which has been mighty impressive this season with several skilled players coming out of nowhere. Pro Bowl tight end George Kittle has been great, and he has been complemented by Wookiee wideout Deebo Samuel and midseason acquisition Emmanuel Sanders. The pass catchers have also been accompanied by the NFC's leading rushing attack, a group that is led by Raheem Mostert. I knew I was going to mess that up. Mostert. Who ran for 220 yards and 4 touchdowns in the NFC Championship. John, real quick, give me a name. Who's going to be this guy?
I already gave it to you, George Kittle.
George Kittle.
Yeah, that's
George Kittle. Chris, do you have a different answer?
This is, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to give a very bold one. Kyle Juszczyk.
I love that. Let's go.
As a blocker.
Fullback low. Why?
As a blocker, he is the best blocking tight end in the league, and he is a big
fullback.
My bad.
He's lined up that tight end a couple plays.
The tight end is also
line
the
him
best.
up where
He runs wide receiver routes.
Yeah.
He runs these routes, and he beats like linebackers and stuff down the field. Like, he's really good.
John, why is it Kittle though?
Why is it Kittle? Because I think tight end is maybe the most important position in their
More
offense.
important than the fullback who's leading the blocking?
Look, that's important too. Listen, I think the 49ers are onto something just stacking the combo positions with the fullback and tight end. They've got the best fullback, they've got the best tight end. It's gotten them to the Super Bowl.
All right, Jeremy, who's got to step up from this group?
You know what? I'll try to offer something different to the table. As Jarrett Kaplan says, Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, you have to do that. Like that's
Deebo Samuel. I mean, look, when receivers were coming out of the draft this past year, Deebo Samuel was like, maybe wide receiver 5, 6. People were thinking he'd be like a late second, early third. Niners picked him early in the second, and he has lived up to that pick. I think he can run end arounds, he can go deep, you can get him a dink dunk. He's very much Swiss Army knife, can do a whole lot of different things for you, and that's what you want to see. And I think that he might surprise some people, and they might try to incorporate Deebo into a lot of what they're doing in order to get the job done.
Armand, who's got to be the guy?
Oh man, it's hard because like Jeremy said, like everybody, like George Kittle.
It could really be anyone.
I think you take a group of unselfish guys who's willing to do everything to get a team win. It's just crazy because he has George Kittle, catch the football, run block.
Yep.
Deebo Samuel, catch the football, run block. Juszczyk, catch the football and run block. I mean, it's just crazy how talented the 49ers are. And it's crazy that each and every one of them, can provide something to us to the table.
Well, they will be missing a running back, correct? Tevin Coleman will not.
Actually, they have a nice
next man up. Next man up.
Nice.
You got
That's how it's been playing all year.
Do not forget about Deebo Samuel. He had over 40 rushing yards in that game against Packers.
So
he
we
can
don't
run
think
the football.
Deebo Samuel. It's not going to be
Samuel.
I think he's playing. I think he's going to play because.
You think he'll play?
It's he just located his
Last time he
shoulder.
played with
I
Super
know.
Bowl,
2 weeks. I mean, the thing is that
he played in that.
I think he'll be
28 Super Bowl.
available, but I don't think he'll get the load.
he's
Well,
Mostert's the guy right now.
The Niners have played an incredible offense this season, but they've also boasted an equally impressive defense. It starts with a front seven led by rookie Nick Bosa and former Chiefs pass rusher Dee Ford. The secondary has also proven its worth, led by veteran Richard Sherman, who is playing in his third career Super Bowl. Chris, can this defense truly stop Mahomes?
I don't think any defense can stop them. It's more of containing. You don't give up the big play. You make them have to get first downs. That's how you're going to do it. Just don't give up and that's what the Niners are so great at. They don't give up the big plays down the field. And I think and the thing is you have a defensive line that has 3.
Well, yeah,
top
you just
half
mentioned the
picks.
defensive line. John, who's a bigger player, Richard Sherman or Nick Bosa in this game?
In this game, it's absolutely Nick Bosa because Richard Sherman struggles against speedy receivers and he struggles against speed. He's not fast.
I know that for a fact too.
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, Nick Bosa's got to get after the quarterback.
What does Nick Bosa need to do in this game, Armand?
Just put pressure on the opposite line. I mean, the thing is that we've seen it against the Packers 2 times, and we've seen it against the Vikings. The thing is that you see how talented and how dangerous this 49ers team when healthy. I mean, you have Dee Ford, Bosa, Armstead, Buckner. I mean, those 4 guys, those like 4 former first-round picks. That's scary. Imagine those 4 guys, coming after you. Imagine Patrick Mahomes. Like you try to run with this way, you got Buckner and Ford. You try to run this way, you got Armstead and Bosa. It's just crazy how talented those guys are.
Jeremy, what does Sherman need to do? Why is he?
So
important?
I mean, look, this is the one matchup to me where I worry if I'm the Niners, just because Richard Sherman does struggle against speed receivers, like John said. But if I'm the Chiefs, that's the matchup I'm exploiting. And honestly, this is Richard Sherman's chance to kind of
silence,
shut up the haters in a way again. And he's had to do that time and time in his career, and he's done it before. So that's why it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if you see Sherman go back and back up what he's talking, the game that he talks. He's talked the talk and walked the walk before. Why can't he do that next Sunday?
Because he's old, slow, and terrible.
I mean, that's what everybody's saying.
Yeah.
I've also seen this Niners defense is. There is a stat. They played against some of the better running quarterbacks in Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson. You know what the QBR they've given up to those 4? That's 71 QBR.
That's pretty
Every
good.
other quarterback is in the 20s.
That's pretty good.
So they're bad against running quarterbacks.
There
you go.
Pretty bad.
Chris the stat man real quick, John.
Here's the thing about the Niners defense is the best offense is a good defense, or the best defense is a good offense. And in this game, the Niners defense is their offense. They have to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field.
All right, so their defense is very important. Well, there is no shortage of talent when it comes to the Niners roster. But which player needs to rise up and be the X factor Sunday night in Miami? Jeremy.
It needs to be the Niners secondary, most importantly Richard Sherman. I think Richard Sherman can find a way to stop them. And if he's able to take away at least Tyreek Hill or Sammy Watkins or something like that. The thing is, I feel like if the Chiefs, you need to pick one player, let him do his thing, and shut down everybody else. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to let either Kelsey or Tyreek Hill get their yards, but they have to absolutely shut down everybody else. And I think that if you can get Richard Sherman to kind of stop Tyreek Hill, I think that'll help.
I'm going to jump over to Chris. Who's your X factor?
My X factor is Emmanuel Mosley because he stepped up last week.
Yes, sir.
Emmanuel Mosley.
He stepped up last week in place of Witherspoon. Witherspoon's been struggling ever since coming back from injury, and I think Mosley gives them more of a physicality too.
John, who's your X factor?
My X factor is Nick Bosa because at the end of the day, he can do it all. He can stop the run, he can get after the passer, and he's going to have to do that on Sunday.
Armand, the floor is yours.
Yeah.
I will give you the rest of this
Yeah.
time. Talk 49ers.
Man, I had to agree with Jeremy. The secondary. I mean, the things that I don't have to worry about the front four. They're gonna get the job done. It's the secondary has to step up a little bit, and then they have him. I mean, they're all healthy. Got Tart, Jimmy Ward, Mosley, Sherman. Sherman's leadership is really what getting those guys, up and out of their seats and ready to go play the football. So,
I mean, we said in the last section, Kyle Shanahan. I think he's outmatched here by Andy Reid.
No.
Nah, I don't. What happened last time we saw Kyle Shanahan in a Super Bowl?
No.
Yes, talk about it. What happened?
What was the last time we saw Andy Reid in the
yeah,
Super
but guess
Bowl?
what though? He learned from his mistakes. I mean, he's not gonna let that 28-3 affect him
Look,
though.
this is good. The monkey's on Shanahan's back and the monkey's on Andy Reid's
Yeah,
back.
but what happened?
So
Yeah,
someone's gonna get that monkey and say
Whitley's
goodbye.
got it, though.
What happens
get
with the 49ers?
get a ring on top of that.
Listen, Jeremy, what happens when the 49ers go into halftime with a big lead? You can't tell me Kyle Shanahan's mind's not going to be on last time.
Mahomes has already come back down 24 this postseason.
Yes.
No, but that's
Chiefs
what I'm
are
saying.
built for that.
That's what
And
I'm saying is this is Andy Reid's chance to get that monkey off his back. Andy Reid has been to how many conference championships and won this many Super Bowls? He's been to like 8 or 9 conference
from a Bill
championships, 0
O'Brien
Super
fan.
Bowls. So work with it.
I mean, check it
hey,
out.
we haven't even been to the conference championship. You can't even say that. Andy Reid chokes on a higher level. I mean, look, Shanahan can also get that monkey off his back too.
I mean, but look what Andy Reid had to play against.
But the way Kyle Shanahan managed the game ahead of 28-3, he was the one calling the plays.
Here's one thing though that I will say.
Didn't want to run the football.
Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers they've either been in every game this year or they've lost on the last play. That's impressive, guys.
All 3 of the losses are
that is because the Niners have the best coaching staff in the league. Bar none.
Walk-offs.
Absolutely.
I can't disagree.
They have the best coaching staff in the league.
I can't agree.
If they
can't
lose this
disagree,
game,
but history doesn't lie.
no, the
History
coaching
repeats
advantage
itself.
goes to the Niners. Absolutely. They are the best coaching staff in the league. The fact that they were able to go from 3-13 a year ago,
4-12 actually.
4-12. All right. I mean, that one win really
Okay,
counts, but to now 13-3 this year, a 9-win improvement.
We're saying
that's a coaching staff.
Are the
thing.
49ers that great? The Seahawks have competed with them time in and time out. The Seahawks arguably could have beat them so many times.
I mean,
the Seahawks are a good team.
They are.
But the Chiefs are way better than the
cannot-
Seahawks.
I don't know. I'm a Seahawks fan. I cannot even tell you that we're actually a great team because we won 11 games. All of them were on one
The
possession.
Seahawks aren't on trial here. The Niners are on trial.
All right. Well, you know what? If you want to hear more about this, I'm sure this week on the podcast we're going to have a lot more Super Bowl talk. This is the buzz at HTF this week, and we're all excited for the game Sunday. Thank you guys for your Niners discussion. As we go into break, head to our Twitter page at Hitting the Field to answer today's Twitter poll, who's going to win the Super Bowl. And 49ers or the Chiefs, those results will be revealed at the end of the show. When we come back, we're going to play a fun little game and reveal our score predictions. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Dave Jeffrey, attorney at law. Has your favorite team ever left you feeling sad, disappointed, or even a little angry? Don't you feel like you should be compensated for it? Just take a look at these real testimonials from my real clients. After Tyrod Taylor led the Bills to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, I was the happiest I'd ever been. And then the Bills traded him, and I wanted to die. But thanks to Dave, I found my will to live again. Yo, Kevin Durant's a bitch. When he said his mom was the MVP, I was so pissed. He put up 30 a game, not her. Same time, I knew my boy Davey would be able to get me some quick cash. Thanks, Dave Jeffrey. I've helped millions of people, and chances are I might be able to help you too.
I hate David Jeffries. My whole family died in a car crash, but he gave all my money away to a Saints fan because of some blown pass interference call. Thanks, Dav.
Aren't you mad when KD went to the Warriors?
Nah, that's pretty chill. Give me a call at 888-888-888, crying emoji, and I can fix your sports misery too.
Please call the number on your screen today if you are experiencing any grief, sadness, or even if another fan has hurt your feelings. All you have to do is provide your credit card number, the 3 silly digits on the back, and the expiration month and year. This is not a scam. Doop, doop, doop.
Welcome back to Hitting the Field Super Bowl preview show. I'm still joined by Chris, John, Armand, and Jeremy, and we're here to play a brand new game on Hitting the Field we like to call Over or Under. Very creative. The creative crew, very well. In this game, each of our panelists have been given a card, one with the green side to represent over and one with the red side to represent under. I will give a Super Bowl statistic, and they have to predict whether the number will be over or under the given stat. Gentlemen, ready to play over or under?
Yes, sir.
It's got a great ring to it. All right, round 1 of our game. Will Patrick Mahomes throw for over or under 3.5 touchdown passes? Chris is going under. Why under?
I'm gonna go under because I think in the red zone they're gonna use Damian Williams in the red zone as like a runner, as just to get short touchdowns. I feel like that's what it's gonna be.
John's going over.
We're going over.
How many?
I say 4 to 5 touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes.
Blasphemous.
I think Kelsey will single-handedly get 3 of these touchdowns.
Blasphemous. Armand, what is your answer? That is very biased. Why is it under?
I mean, like I said, like the Niners have the #1 pass defense in the league. All right, let me say this. People keep downing them all season, but I think they're gonna have something cooked up for Patrick Mahomes. Just watch out. But
all right, Jeremy, you can't go even on
me.
this. So what are you taking?
I wish I could go even.
No even. You're gonna go over, and why?
Here's why. I think Chris thinks short touchdowns. I think it's gonna be long touchdowns.
I would agree.
I mean, like, how many times have you seen Tyreek Hill 60-yard touchdown, Sammy Watkins 50-yard touchdown? That's the thing is, if it gets down to the red zone, I do expect them to use Damian Williams because that's who they want in the red zone. But I think what we're going to see from Mahomes, I think we're going to see exactly 4 touchdowns.
I'm going to add
one.
He
might run for another.
I'm going to add one in here. 3.5 touchdowns outside of the red zone for the Chiefs, over or under. I want to see everyone's answers. I want it over 3.5 touchdowns outside of the red zone.
I think
under.
Yeah, I think we're looking at about 1 or 2. I think mostly it's going to be Kelsey in the red zone.
All right. Well, our next round we have Raheem Mostert, who ran for over 200 yards in the NFC Championship game. While it would be shocking to see him do that again, let's see if he'll break the century mark for the Super Bowl. 99.5 rushing yards, over or under. We're going to start on this side, Armand. Okay, and you're going to go with over.
Blasphemous.
I mean,
That is blasphemous.
I mean, you got to think about that. So, 2 things. Raheem Mostert has amazing vision. He can see like the play happening and letting the play develop. Number 2, you have the offensive line that's great blocking. Use check, great blocking. Everybody on the field is great at blocking. So I think he's going to either have 200 yards and maybe 2 touchdowns.
Jeremy? Bing! Over 100.
Yes,
so
sir.
How many do you think he's going to get up
the
to?
holes that offensive line for the Niners have, I could have ran for over 100 yards in that NFC Championship game. The fact, and I mean, that front 7 that the Packers had, they're probably better than the Chiefs' front 7, honestly.
John? Okay.
Here's the thing. You held Derrick Henry to under 100 yards. You're holding Raheem Mostert to
Chris?
under 100.
Okay, so we got an under and an over couch. What's your argument for under?
It's like that. They held Derrick Henry under 100, but I also think Matt Breida might get a little more time because Tevin Coleman's health. So I mean, I think more of a commit.
He's a decoy this game, right?
I think it might be more of a committee. They might get their yards, but it's more of a committee. I don't think
if Raheem Mostert doesn't get 100 yards, someone's going to get 100 yards.
You're coaching.
I could get 100 yards.
You're coaching against Kyle Shanahan. I mean.
Yeah, terrible coach. We established that in the last.
I mean, it's not. Kyle Shanahan is not Mike Vrabel, so I don't know. I think that.
All right, so again, I'm going to throw in another curveball here.
Okay.
2.5 rushing touchdowns, over under for the 49ers. Over 2.5, like team rushing touchdowns.
Absolutely.
Oh, team rushing touchdowns?
Yeah, team rushing touchdowns. 2.5 team rushing touchdowns, under, over. Why under? I got to ask why under.
I think you go for Kittle in the end zone.
You going for Kittle?
Honestly, yeah.
Over, why are we over?
I just keep doing what works in the red zone.
Whitley.
At the end of the day, that's the 49ers game. They're gonna get a few rushing touchdowns.
Armand, you could agree, it's just their run game is.
I mean, we're just so versatile on offense. I mean, you could do it either way. The running game has been working for us this past couple weeks. So yeah.
Well, don't fix what's not broken. We'll go back to the Chiefs. I think it's safe to say that any Chiefs receiver could go off this weekend, but for this game, I want to focus on Travis Kelce. Will the Chiefs tight end catch for more than 73.5 yards? And let's start with the right side of my couch.
Yeah.
And we're all green over here, boys. Why is that?
We're letting him cook. I mean, Travis Kelce is probably like the top 2 tight ends in the league next to George Kittle. I mean, the way he could do it with his physicality and the way he could catch the football and get the yards after the catch is truly amazing.
He might be the guy that the Niners just say, you know what, let him get the yards. I'd rather have Kelce get 5 yards than have Hill get 30.
Yeah,
So
we'll let him cook.
Yeah, I think Travis Kelce's gonna be the leading receiver.
All right, let me flip to the other side of the couch. Over, Chris, under. Okay, that's blasphemous. That is blasphemous.
Let's hear it.
Why?
I think it's going to be a distribution game. I think
so. No one's going to be over 73.5.
I think you're going to get everybody's going to get involved.
Mahomes is going to throw for like 500 yards.
That's crazy.
Someone's going to have 100. The first play of the game is going to be an 80-yard touchdown.
They have a bunch of receivers they can throw to. They have a bunch of players they can throw to. You can throw to Hartman. You can throw to Hill. You can throw to Robinson. You can throw to Sammy Watkins. You can do Kelsey. You can throw Damian Williams out of the backfield. They have a lot of weapons.
Got to make sure you don't get sacked first.
But at the end of the day, when Mahomes is in trouble, Kelsey is the guy he goes to, and you're like Armand said, you're playing the number 1 pass defense in the league, so you're going to feed that tight end.
10 catches, 100 yards for Kelsey.
I mean, I think Kelsey's easily
somewhere in that.
I can agree to that.
3 touchdowns.
At least.
Not 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns.
3 tutties, boy.
5 catches, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns.
Okay, so quickly, over/under for Patrick Mahomes passing yards, 450.
Ooh, I want to take the even.
You're taking the even? Over.
No, 449.5.
So wait, why under?
Why under?
450. He's their only source of offense.
450's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Tom Brady threw for like 500.
The thing, like I said, the thing is that I don't think the 49ers and like Patrick Mahomes throw all over them. It's just crazy not to think about that.
All right, why over?
Over? Because Andrew Reid doesn't run the football.
Thank you. And you're even. I mean, I don't
even.
Why is that?
Yeah,
449.5.
Yeah, but Chris, though, if he can't throw the football, you got to run it, and then you got to run defense too.
All right, well, we're going to jump over to the Niners front seven. That has been one of the best in the league. The Niners had 48 sacks this season, one of the best marks in the NFL. But will they be able to take down Patrick Mahomes? The number is 2.5 sacks. What are we thinking here? I'm going to start on the left side of the couch. I don't like those answers. All right, we got an under.
Booking, Chris.
What do we got? Over. All right, I'm going to go with my one under to start. Why are you under 2.5 sacks?
I don't think they're gonna get him on the ground. I mean, they've had trouble with these like running quarterbacks. I don't know if they're gonna get him on the ground.
I mean,
see, this is with the sacks. This is not saying about hurries or pressures. They could have like 15 hurries or pressures and force incomplete passes. I just don't think they're gonna get him on the ground.
Okay.
They still gotta affect
Armand,
the game.
I'll let you jump in. Defend your team right here.
I mean, the front four is healthy. I mean, I think that we've seen for the past couple of weeks, the Minnesota Vikings, they got 5 sacks on Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
Also a really good offensive
Kirk
line,
Cousins
too.
is terrible. Jeremy,
So-
I mean,
I think they just have a great front seven.
It's crazy.
John.
Yeah, we're talking about Bosa, we're talking about Buckner, Armstead. These guys are built to sack the quarterback.
One of them might
And
get
they're
2.5
quarterback
sacks
eaters
by themselves.
Well, one of my favorite ones, Jimmy Garoppolo pass attempts, 17.5 over under. What do we
Over.
think? Over.
He has,
17
he's
and a
going to
half
throw the
pass
football
attempts.
more.
17.5.
He's only thrown, okay, we'll change it. 27.5 since he's only thrown it 27 times this postseason. We'll go 27.5 over under.
He needs to.
He has to under.
24.
Over. Okay, why is he going to go over? Because they're going to have
I mean,
to throw.
he's going to have to mix it up a little bit. I think they has to.
Jeremy, why under?
I would say just because I think it's gonna be like 24, 25. I
Okay.
still think.
So it'll be in the 20s?
I'd rather see draws, and I think that more draws will be called for guys and end arounds and just ways to get the ball downfield. Because any of those running guys,
Fair
I'm not gonna say backs, but running guys can get 8-9 yards in an even play.
John, you're under?
Yeah, the number in my head is about 23, 24. Yeah, I think I have a lot of respect for Garoppolo. I think he can get it done. I think 27 is just a little high.
All right, Chris, what's your number then? If
About
you're
30.
over 30, I mean, I think he's gonna have to throw to get it done, right?
I mean, hot take. I mean, he's probably going to have a passing touchdown
Gonna
this game.
throw 50 passes. Well, it's
Probably.
time for our final round, and it's the biggest one. How will the Super Bowl end? The Chiefs are a 1-point favorite, so we're gonna go green for the Chiefs and red for the Niners. Gentlemen? Okay, Armand, you are under. I want your prediction with the score. Who wins the game? You're going 49ers. What's the score?
34-24.
34-24?
Yeah.
Oh, Jeremy, I see you're on the Chiefs board. Your score?
Sorry, bud. 38-31 Chiefs. I think
I could take that.
I think that this is going to be one of the best Super Bowls we've seen. Honestly,
One of the best Super Bowls we've ever
I think
seen.
it has all the ingredients for it. It has all the ingredients for it.
John, what's your score prediction?
Yeah, I've got 38-34 Chiefs. A lot of special players in this game. We're going to see some great football.
Okay. Chris, yeah, you're going Chiefs.
31-27 Patrick Mahomes gets a game-winning drive. He gets the drive he never got in the AFC Championship last year.
Yeah.
I think he'll get one this year, and I think he'll take advantage of it. And
Me
win.
against the world.
Well, the budget sucks here. I didn't get a card, so I think I'll take this one here. And I'm going to go green, 55-43. Chiefs win.
Blasphemous.
That's a lot of
Okay,
So now that's blasphemous.
why is that blasphemous? Okay, you know what? We're going to play another. Take your cards. Over, under, combined 85.5 points.
Wait, 85.5. Is that how many you said? Oh, I said
No,
38, 31. That's under.
38,
Way under.
I think we all read.
I'm not really going to do math.
Put red up. That's too many points.
You guys don't think there's going to be any sort of offense in this game?
There's gonna be
38,
offense.
31 is a lot of offense.
I'm talking
Dude.
like 90s.
No.
Yeah,
You don't put up
55
bro.
points on this 49ers
okay.
defense.
You don't put a 55
The
in the
Saints,
Super
how much did the
Bowl.
Saints put up? Like 40 something?
46.
You don't put up 55.
You don't put a 55 in
That
the
was,
Super Bowl.
I mean,
That was
unless you
lighting
think
it
of
up.
the Rams-Chiefs game last season. That was crazy. Remember
Yes.
that?
Yeah, but this is the 49ers.
This is the
defense.
49ers.
This is a
So-
different. This is a
Well,
different
it's
animal.
different.
The Chiefs' defense last year was awful.
And they're still awful.
They are better this year. They're a lot better this year.
Still awful.
I think they're a lot better this year.
This is all blasphemous.
sorry to
When
break it to you.
55-43 happens,
55.
No one's That honestly sounds
Nearly
That's crazy.
That's 7 touchdowns, 2 field goals.
It sounds better
That
when
was
he
good
says
math.
it.
That was
55.
Props.
My bad,
Listen,
Jones.
if they put up 55 points, you can slap me in the face on camera.
On camera.
Who noted that? Is that noted?
right.
That will be on
Okay.
our Twitter when it happens.
Noted.
55.
All right, closing thoughts. Everyone down the line. Super Bowl, what are you looking forward to most?
Eating.
Eating. We'll go to you last. Your team's playing. Chris?
Just the whole week. I love watching this. I just love the whole week.
Yeah, my favorite position in football is the tight end. We got the 2 best tight ends in the NFL, so that's what I'm most excited for.
Yep, of course.
So do we.
And Niners win, baby.
Niners win.
Yeah. You see that?
Can I bring
do
that
it.
hat
Yeah,
up?
bring that up. You see that?
All right,
Yeah,
well,
look at
in
that.
honor of Armand, I'll
there
put
you
this
go.
on too. Even though I'm all on board on the Chiefs, I mean, I'm looking forward to a great game.
It looks
You
good
know
on
what?
you, though.
It's time to go to break real quick. When we come back, I'm going to reveal the results to the Twitter poll and the results. So stay tuned. What do you guys? I mean, what are we doing for the game?
I mean,
Are we on it?
honestly, I'm
To be a Saints fan right now.
Dude,
I'd be so
mad.
I can't believe that ridiculous no call.
Bro, I'm puzzled. If they would have made that call, who do you think would have been in the Super Bowl? The Saints would have been in the Super Bowl. Come on now.
The refs, they need to be punished for something.
Oh, hey guys. Did you see my missed call last week? Could have sent that team to the championship. I guess not.
I can't take this anymore.
What's up with this guy?
It's time to discuss our Twitter poll results, and the results are in, and the Chiefs are going to win. So that's what's going to happen, right? I mean, I agree with that, right?
Super close.
My condolences are with you, Armand.
I don't get it.
Okay, so if the Niners do win, I want an apology from everybody.
I would publicly apologize on the show. You know what? Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of Hitting the Field. This one was definitely one of the best ones we've had. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Hitting the Field, and to subscribe to our YouTube page as well. You can also catch the HTF podcast on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. This week, we're going to debut our first spin-off podcast titled Hitting the Crew. Might I add is also back this week, where Kyle Partain and Chris Wolf dive deep into UCF's involvement at the Pro Bowl. For everyone here in the NSCM studio, I am Jared Kappelman, and we're going to see you next week. Ah, you.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid.